Heckler House. Oh, oh,
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, the news this week, same old crap with the Trump. All the Trump cases are falling apart. They know they're losing their cases. It's just funny because they keep trying to stomp this man out and they can't do it because the Democrats are lying out their ass. So everybody knows that now. It's even other Democrats or leftists are waking up and going, what the fuck? You guys are lying out your ass. Anyways, regardless, that's all falling apart. And now we got this thing where they're trying to make the media it's covering something up because they're trying to make this fucking bullshit with, students being brainwashed by Hamas terrorists, people coming over to our country and trying to get support for baby killers. But whatever. So the media is covering all these protests at these colleges by these terrorists. Antifa's gotten involved, BLM, all them stupid leftists. Fucking, it's hilarious because they're going out there with garbage cans thinking they're actually doing something, trying to get laid by these feminists who are coming from other universities all over the U.S. to protest at these one specific certain university. It's just, they've literally asked these women, why are you here? Why are you protesting? I don't know. Why are we protesting? They don't even know. They have no clue why they're protesting. It's just a thing everybody's doing at these colleges, so they're going and doing it. It's so dumb and ignorant. But anyways, that's being covered by the media like crazy, and I don't understand why. It's not a big deal. And the police are now arresting them, the Democrats, for whatever reason that they're supporting Israel, and they're fucking arresting these motherfuckers for once. They didn't do it during 2020 riots. In fact, they paid them to do it. Now they're fucking arresting them. So obviously, things have changed. But anyways, that's the whole big news that I've seen lately. It's just dumbass shit. Let's get on to your reviews. The first thing I want to talk about, and I'm not going to, stay on it very long. I've got something else better to talk about. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a show called MILF Manor, where these 50 and 60-year-old women, and they look that old. I mean, just bags of dry skin. They're old. They look old. The first season, they're going after their sons. Like they're swapping each other's 20-year-old sons. It was absolutely disgusting and degenerative. Because these women want to bang young men. I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, you know, each to their own, but it was disgusting. Anyways, they've made a season 2. I was like, I saw it the other day. I was like, holy shit. They made another season of this god-awful, gross show. Oh my. Whatever. I'm not watching this season. I watched first season because I was like, what kind of shit is it? Oh, it was just pathetic. But this one's even probably worse. I'm not even bothered watching it. Because they look old as bags too. That's just gross. But anyways, I saw that shit. That shit's out. I'm not watching it. You know, and I'll check out a new dating show if it looks fairly decent. But I've already watched the first season. It was god-awful, horrible. I'm not about to watch this one. It was gross. It was disgusting. So I'm not watching this one. But anyways, let's get to talk about what I really want to talk about. I just got done watching, and understand, I am not a big fan of a lot of the new shit that keeps coming out. Hollyweird just cannot. These writers suck ass. They can't write anything. They want to take old ass shit, reboot it, remake it, and destroy it. Because they hate the fact that they can't write worth the shit. And all the good shit was in the 80s. But anyways, I watched this new horror flick called Sting. Basically, it's kind of silly. There's an alien that crashes the Earth through a meteor, a tiny one, about this size. It's about the size of a marble. It's like an egg or something that pops open, and it's this little tiny spider. Well, this little girl who lives in an apartment complex, supposedly in New York. You don't really see the outside of the apartment complex except for near the beginning of the movie, and all you see is the apartment complex. You don't get to see the neighborhood or if it's in New York or anything. All you see is the apartment complex. But anyway, she finds it, and she's one of those just rarity type girls where they're into like, you know, horror and scary stuff and gothic crap. You know, girls like that are really rare. There are outliers. There's one every now and then. She just happens to be one of those particular type who likes shit that most girls will not even go near or like. Anyways, even tomboys won't go near that shit. But, so she likes the scary spider. Well, she starts feeding it. And the appetite of the spider gets more and more insatiable. And she starts communicating with it by whistling at it. And the spider actually whistles back. Well, the spider keeps getting massively huge, like human size or bigger, you know, like a bear eventually. Anyways, it's going around starting to kill the people in the apartment complex and eating them. There's one particular neighbor who's like a biologist or some shit. I don't know if he's, not sure. He's Asian. He's an Asian guy. I don't know if he's like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or something like that, but he's Asian. And he eventually, talks the girl into letting him check out the spider. She mentions it or something to him at one point in time. So he checks out the spider. He's like, that's impossible. Spiders don't communicate. They don't have vocal cords and blah, blah, blah. He's telling her all this stuff that she's telling him that the spider does. He's like, no, that's impossible. They can't do that. That's not a spider. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm going to check it out. Leave it with me for a day or two, and I'll check it out. I'll tell you what it is. Well, he calls in the father and tells the father of the little girl that it's not a spider. It's something else. And it's huge. It's gotten really big, which freaks the father out, because the father, the girl has a little baby brother. He's like a year old or whatever, and the father's all like, why didn't you tell me about this fucking spider that you captured? And you've got it in the apartment, and it could kill, your brother, blah, blah, blah. And the girl throws a hissy fit. I mean, literally screaming at him and shit. And he doesn't do anything. He's just like, oh, I just want to fucking be your friend. Because he's... Okay. The girl comes with the mother from a previous marriage. He's the stepfather. But the baby is his with the girl's mother. And then the mother starts screaming at him like, good job, I can't believe you did that with her, and blah, blah, blah. And he's, I don't know, she won't tell the daughter about her father who left her, and, now he's been in town for a year, and, or for however long, and she's not telling her that he's not coming to see her, blah, blah, blah. She adores her father, misses her father, all that BS, she has to have, daddy issues, what the fuck ever, typical feminist crap. This is literally the only feminist shit I've seen in the whole movie. Otherwise, the rest of the movie's fine. But that whole scene where she's screaming at the stepfather, and, women that already have kids, they want you to fucking discipline for them, and then when you do, they fucking throw a fit because they want to baby and coddle their fucking kids, and they don't discipline them. That's why father or guys never date a single mother. I'm telling you, it's a fucking headache. I've done it many times, and I regret it every time I did it, because they're terrible. They're terrible. But anyways, yeah, they want you to have all the responsibility, but then they don't want to give you any authority to their kids, even though you're the one taking care of. It's bullshit. But anyways, moving on. Eventually, they end up having to fight the spider, because the spider turns on the little girl and starts attacking her family, which she doesn't like. So she figures out that, if you take mothballs, you can dissolve the spider's web and it hurts it. So she figures that out, supposedly. So she helps. The spider captures the family in some kind of weird webbing, and she figures out how to set them free and help them out. At the end, they kill the spider. Well, she does. Of course, they let the little girl kill it. With like some type of trash compactor is what it was. It smashes the fucking trash together and puts it in a bin. That's what she killed it with. But anyways, Other than the whole feminist daddy issue scene, you know, them yelling at the stepfather, the rest of the movie was okay. It was alright, even though the little girl was an outlier. You know, one of those that, you know, liked gross, scary shit, you know, blah, blah, blah. Other than that, the movie was fairly decent. It was alright. You know, big giant spider. Alien spider, sorry. Check it out if you want. It was okay. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't horrible either. I don't know. If you like creature features, then this one probably be something you like. Let's get on to your B movie reviews. Okay, movie-holics. This week is Horror Week. And this week, we're taking a look at a couple 80s flicks. The first one is called Clownhouse, and it was done in 1989. It starred Sam Rockwell, Brian McHugh, and Nathan Winters. Now, I think it went straight to video because I didn't see any box office numbers on this. Some people might remember this, some may not. Basically, you had 3 mental patients, or mental convicts, mental health convicts, patients, whatever. They escaped. They come to this circus. They kill there's 3 clowns in the circus. They kill them, and then they kind of put on their wardrobe, dress up as clowns, and then they follow these 3 boys home from the circus, and then they go in there and they try to terrorize them before they kill them. And they are killers because they kill the 3 clowns, plus they kill a couple other people at a store or some shit halfway through the movie. It was cheesy. It's okay. There's one scene in the movie where they're literally running through the fucking house, and it's like a maze. They just keep running and running and running from these clowns. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? How big is this fucking house? It's only supposed to be 2 stories, but yet they're running all over the place. I was up and down stairs, and it was like I said, it was like a huge maze. For whatever reason, I don't get it. They don't kill the oldest boy, but they kill everybody else in the movie, except for the oldest boy. They just beat the shit out of him, stuff him in a fucking closet. And I'm like, how come they're like killing people, but then they don't kill the oldest boy? That makes no fucking sense. There's one particular clown, he's like the lead clown. He fucks up the middle child, the boy, the middle son. He fucks him up. Then he goes after the littlest one, who's scared to death of clowns. He goes after the youngest one. And then the youngest one and the middle-aged boy, they're the ones who take out it's mainly the middle-aged one. He takes out the clowns for the most part, all three of them. The youngest one helped a little bit, but he pretty much took care of all of them. And then that's pretty much the end of the movie. You know, he pretty much kills them all. It was okay. I didn't think it was the greatest horror flick. It was pretty cheesy, but it was okay for cheesy horror flick from the 80s. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It was okay for a one-time watch. I'll probably never watch it again, but let's move on to your next one. This one's called The House by the Cemetery, and it was done in 1981, and it made about $500,000 worldwide at the box office. It starred Catherine McCall and Paolo Macallo. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it or not. He's Italian. This is an Italian film. Yet it's set here in the United States in the New England area. I thought it was funny. When I'm watching this movie, I'm like, oh, this is definitely an 80s movie because they got cassette tapes, the old cassette, the box cassette recorder with the big buttons, and then fucking, the whole thing with the station wagons back in the 80s. There are a ton of station wagons in this film. You can see it. They even owned one, a red one. So yeah, you had the station wagons and the cassette players from back then. It was kind of funny to see all that stuff because you don't see them really anymore. I took some notes on this film, which I'll go over because it's an Italian film, and usually Italian films are just, I think some of them are just awful, but then there's others that are just, they're hilarious. They're not, I have a hard time taking them seriously because they're just do some dumbass shit that's just hilarious. They're funny. So I like watching the old Italian, 80s flicks, sometimes, because some of them are really decent, funny movies, even though they're not trying to seriously be funny. Anyways, this story is basically this couple, they're moving because the husband, he's a doctor of something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But he's a doctor. He's taking over some research for another doctor in the New England area, and they live in New York. So they move into this place that's apparently haunted. They have a little boy, And before they even go to New England, he's seeing this little girl who's like, you know, they think it's an imaginary friend. And he keeps seeing this little girl throughout the entire movie. That should tell him something's going on right there, but whatever. For whatever reason, people in the town act like they've seen the doctor before, but he's like, I've never fucking been here. What the fuck are you talking about? They get to the house, and I kid you not, the wife literally fucking throws the biggest fucking fit. Not like angry fit, but like freaking out fit. When she pulls a carpet back and finds a gravestone in that fucking house. She's going absolutely ballistic over it. I'm like, what the? It's just a fucking gravestone. Oh my gosh. Like, seriously. It was ridiculous. But whatever. This little girl, she's standing in front of, at the beginning, she's standing in front of a picture window, you know, that has mannequins in it. And one of the mannequins looks like this girl that later shows up. But it cuts the head off and there's this blood all over the place. I'm like, well, we went a little overboard with the blood. But anyways, this babysitter shows up, and she doesn't talk to the dad at first. She talks to the wife and says the real estate agent lady sent her over. And I'm like, what? Real estate agents don't send over babysitters? What kind of stupid shit is that? Anyway, she looks just like the mannequin at the beginning of the movie that the little girl saw. But yeah, the babysitter's really creepy, really weird. That should tell them something else too, because they never do any checkup on her or whatever. She just lets them fucking start watching their fucking kid. Okay, whatever. That's a bit weird. No background check or anything. Whatever. Anyways, the doctor, the father, he starts checking up on his old colleague and doing research on what the guy was researching. Come to find out, it had to be some guy who used to own the house years and years ago. And somehow he was coming up with a formula to try to beat death. Like live, you know, become immortal or some shit. Well, come to find out, towards the end of the movie, and people are dying. There's a few people that die in the house that come visit or whatever. Well, come to find out, you know, this guy, it's like Fredestein or some shit like that. I can't remember. Fruitestein or something like that. It was a weird name. He basically turned himself into a fucking zombie, is what it was. And he needs flesh from living beings to keep himself going. It was kind of silly. Anyways, he kills everybody, including the entire family. And at the end, the girl's actually a ghost. The wife of the zombie, she's there too. And the boy becomes a ghost because, I mean, it doesn't show the zombie kill the boy, but you know he killed the boy because all of a sudden he's with the little girl and the zombie's wife, who was already dead. But that's the end of the movie. Zombie kills everybody. I don't know. The movie was pretty cheesy. It wasn't boring. I mean, it was alright for an old Italian horror flick. But there was some funny ass shit in there. Like, one thing I noticed, like I said, I took some notes. I wanted to mention a couple things. The dubbing for the little kid, the little boy, is absolutely horrific. It's terrible. Everybody else's dubbing was fine. But that little kid, whoever was dubbing for that little kid, Jesus. You talk about, every time I heard him speak, it was like scratches on a chalkboard. Terrible. And I think I already mentioned, they went over the top with the blood scenes. There's one scene where he walks down into the basement at one point in time. And for whatever reason, the basement stairs are not made out of wood. It's an old house, but it's not made out of wood. They're made out of metal grating. It was kind of weird, but whatever. He walks down the steps. And this bat, you tell the bat is fake as fuck, but this bat fucking hits him in the head and flies off. And the wife and the kid is up at the very top of the steps. She comes screaming, running down, like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? What happened? What happened?" Because, you know, he yelled when the bat hit him in the head. And then the bat it jumps on her and lands on her head, and it just stays there, flapping its wings, supposedly caught in her hair or whatever. Well, instead of running upstairs towards the light, she runs deeper down the basement into the dark. And she's just up against the wall, screaming her head off. And the father, the doctor, he points his flashlight at her and stares at her for a good minute. I mean, just, you can count the minute before he even moves to go help her swat off the bat. Well, he goes and pulls the bat off of her, and then the bat bites his hand. He goes running upstairs. He grabs a pair of scissors. There's blood gushing all over his fucking hand from this bat biting him. And I'm like, come on. And he takes his pair of scissors, and he's like stabbing it and then grinding these scissors into this bat for another good 2 minutes, you know. And I'm like, well, blood's gushing everywhere. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I was just so silly. Yeah, that was hilarious. I don't know what the fuck the Italians, what they think is good cinema, but every 10 minutes, the doctor, the guy who's playing the doctor, this Paulo or whatever the fuck his name, Paulio or whatever, Picalio, whatever. Anyway, every 10 minutes, he has to like intensely stare at the screen for 30 seconds. Like the end of a scene. Like they just did a scene, he'd have to stare for 30 seconds. And then they move on to the next scene. I was just like, come on. Ridiculous. There's one scene where the real estate agent shows up. Apparently there's no one home. She just walks on in. And you can literally see the grave is uncovered, the gravestone, from that little carpet. In this room where there's nowhere to go, you can see the whole room. It's got like these window panels that kind of do like this half circle thing. And then there's the gravestone. Well, she goes it literally walks right on the gravestone, steps and breaks it, and gets her leg caught in the gravestone. As she's hollering for some of these people, you know, the family, people in the family. Yet you could literally, from the beginning of the room, this is the far side of the room. At the beginning of the room where she enters in the door, you can clearly tell there's no one in the room. It's not a huge room. And you definitely tell there's no one over in the area where the gravestone was. But yet she has to walk over there and step inside the gravestone and get her leg caught. Which, of course, you know, the zombie comes up and kills her. And I was, get the fuck, so dumb. It's ridiculous. There's one scene where the zombie comes up, the babysitter gets trapped inside, you know, at the top of the basement steps. The door locks on her and she can't get out. And she's hollering at the boy to come help her get her out. The zombie comes up and he slits her throat. And there's blood gushing all over the door, the walls, the steps. But when the boy, and it's only like 10 seconds later, the boy opens the door and there's no blood whatsoever. I'm like, get the fuck. The zombie just killed her and there was blood all over the place. What the fuck, man? Whatever. Like I said, there's some ridiculous shit in it. But it's an Italian film, so it's kind of expected. Some of these scenes were just hilarious. That's why I liked it. You know, it was a good movie for that kind of shit. The story wasn't horrible, really. It wasn't terrible. But it definitely could have been way better. That's the Italians for you. Anyways, it's worth a one-time watch. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down for an old cheesy horror flick. Check it out if you want, if you're into horror. That's all I have for you this week. I don't know. Those, like I said, them Italians. I still can't get over. It's just fucking hilarious. Hey, yeah, check it out if you want. It's not horrible, but it's not the greatest of films either. But it's watchable. It's watchable. If you have any comments about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you have any ideas, like or you could think of any kind of movies, B-rated movies, that you think I may never even have heard of, or, you know, underrated stuff, you know, that most people don't know about, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So, until next time, I told you be told the truth, and you just been told.